Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are on page 63, lesson 10, problem set, and we are learning about area today. Okay, so I know the formula for area is equal base times height. Base is the length right here, and height is how tall the object is. Okay, so with problem 1, it says right here, sketch the rectangles and your tiling. Write the dimensions and the units you counted in the blanks. Then use multiplication to confirm the area. Show your work. We will do rectangle A and B together. Okay, I know that they did not give you guys any measurements or any, of these rectangles that were created by me, but I want you to make sure that you're following along because I will be giving you guys the measurements. Okay, so all of these pages will be measurements that I give, and make sure you are listening and following along. So the first rectangle I have right here, I'm going to figure out what the base and height is equal to. I know that I'm going to count the cubes or the units I have here. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 units that go across, so that is my base, and my height is 1, 2. I counted 2 for my height. So I'm going to write 3 units long. 3 units long and 2 units wide. So the area, when I multiply the area, which is 3 times 2, I'm going to get 6 units square. Okay, now that is the first problem. We're going to go on to rectangle B. For rectangle B, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count how many units I have and how high or how wide it is as well. So I have 1, 2, 3, and I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that means that I have 3 units long and 3 units wide. And 3 times 3 is equal to 9 units squared. Now, rectangle C is a different rectangle. If you notice, this one looks like a half measurement because it is. So what I have right here is 1 and 1 half. And then on the side, I have 5. Okay? So that means that I am multiplying these units together to figure out what I have. So I have 5 units long and 1 and 1 half units wide. Okay? And I need to multiply it in order to find what my area is equal to. So I'm going to multiply. I have 5 times 1 and 1 half. Okay? So I'm going to write 5 times and change this mixed number into an improper fraction so that I can multiply straight across. So 2 times 1 is equal to 2, and 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So I have 3 halves. Okay? 5 times 3 is equal to 15. And if you want to put the 1 underneath because a whole number can be written as a fraction by putting a 1 underneath, then you can do that. And 1 times 2 is equal to 2. Now I'm not quite done yet right here. I have 15 divided by 2. So I'm going to show you how you're going to change that back into a mixed number. So I'm going to write down right here, I have 15 divided by 2. I know that 2 can go into 15 7 times, so I'm going to subtract. 15 minus 14 is equal to 1. And I am going to put my 1 on top, and my denominator, or my remainder is 1, so I'm going to put it on top as the numerator, and then my 2 is going to go on the bottom as my denominator. So my final answer is 7 and 1 half units squared. Oh, I almost forgot to write it right here as well. There you go. Now, rectangle D. Rectangle D is all the same size except for actually this bottom one right here. So I'm going to show you guys what I did. So I have 1 and 3/4. And then on this side, I have 2. Okay, so that means that I am multiplying my units together in order to get area. Remember, area is equal to base times height. Maybe writing a formula will help you remember that. Area is equal to base times height. Okay, so I have 2 units long, and I have 1 and 3/4 units wide. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. I am multiplying my base, which is 2, and my height, which is 1 and 3/4. Okay? And remember, you need to change your improper fraction into, you need to change your mixed number into an improper fraction so that you get the correct answer. So I have 4 times 1, which is equal to 4, and 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. So I have 7/4, okay? And if you want to put the 1 under the 2 so it's easier for you to multiply across, you can. So 2 times 7 is equal to 14, and 1 times 4 is equal to 4. So I have 14 divided by 4, okay? Now I'm not quite done because I need to make sure that I divide that correctly. So I'm going to write that down. I have 14 divided by 4. 4 goes into 14 3 times, so I'm going to subtract. 14 minus 12 is equal to 2, so my remainder is 2, and it's going to become my numerator. Now my denominator is going to be 4, okay? So I have 3 and 2/4. Now I can simplify this further by dividing the top and bottom number by 2. So my final answer is going to be 3 and 1/2. Okay, so that's what I'm going to write here. 3 and 1/2. 3 and 1/2 units squared. Now, for my next problem, I have rectangle E. And with rectangle E, I have 3/4 at the top. Maybe I need to draw this a little shorter so I can actually write the number. I have 3/4 at the top, and on the side I have 5. Okay, so that's what I'm going to multiply. I have 5 units long, that's my height, and my base is 3/4 units wide. That's how wide it is. Okay, so I have area is equal to base times height. So that means that my base is 3/4 times 5. Okay, so I'm going to multiply straight across. 3 times 5 is 15, and 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Now I'm going to make sure I divide 15 divided by 4, right? So I'm going to change that into my division. 15 divided by 4. I know that 4 can go into 15 3 times. 15 minus 12 is equal to 3. So my remainder is 3, and that is going to be my numerator, and my denominator is 4. So I have 3 and 3/4 as my final answer. 3 and 3/4. Now, I'm going to turn the page, and I am on page 64. Page 64 says, the rectangle to the right is composed of squares that measure 2 and 1/4 inches on each side. What is the area in square inches? Explain your thinking using pictures and numbers. So I already started to draw my picture below right here. But they also want you to draw it on the side. So this measurement right here is going to be my 2 and 1/4, and this measurement right here is going to show 2 and 1/4 inches. Okay? Now, to find the length, what I need to do is I need to multiply 2 and 1/4 times 4. Okay? Because it's asking me if the rectangle to the right is composed of squares that measures 2 and 1/4 on each side, what is the area in square inches? I need to make sure that I'm multiplying it by 4 in order to figure out what my answer is. So I am going to multiply times 4. I'm going to change my 2 and 1/4 into a improper fraction. So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I have 9/4 times 4 over 1. 9 times 4 is equal to 36, and 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Okay, so 36 divided by 4 is equal to 9. Now, I also need to find the width, how wide my rectangle is. So for my width, I'm going to multiply 2 and 1/4 times 3. Again, I want to change my 2 and 1/4 into a mixed number, improper fraction. Sorry, I keep getting those confused. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. My 4 is my denominator. I'm going to multiply this times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 1 is 4. So I have 27 divided by 4. That means I need to make sure I divide my problem to get the correct answer. So I'm going to divide it here for you guys to see. I know that 4 can go into 27 6 times, which is equal to 24. 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. That is going to be my numerator, and my denominator is going to be 4. So I have 6 and 3/4. Now that I have 6 and 3/4 and I have 9, I'm going to multiply those two numbers in order to get my answer. So I'm going to write that over here so you guys can see. I have 6 and 3/4, and then on the top, or the width, is going to be 9 inches. Okay, now I'm going to find the area by multiplying these two numbers together. So area is equal to base times height. I'm multiplying 6 and 3/4 times 9 inches. 6 and 3/4 is converted into a improper fraction. So 4 times 6 is 24. 24 plus 3 is 27 over 4. I'm going to multiply that times 9 over 1. Okay? So let me show you what is 27